All right, what's up, everybody? I got another book haul. Had 2 weekends in a row where I went crazy on book buying, and I have stuff everywhere. I'm kid you not, everywhere on my floor right now. Maybe I'll throw a clip in there. It's a mess. It's hard to move in here. I'm gonna look at the wrong side of the camera over and over this entire video because I have the camera flipped the opposite way I normally do. But who cares? I just have stuff everywhere. I have got to go through it, and I have got to sort it and get it on Whatnot or eBay or on my shelves where they go or whatever, so I can walk in this room. It is out of control. I probably need to do a ban myself from buying books for a while. Okay, I'm gonna try and rapid fire this. Okay, I went to, and this may be out of order of the weekend where I got it, but we'll I don't know, we'll see. I went to LA to take my son to college, and on the way I went to several bookstores. On the way home we went to several bookstores, and part of that was I also went down to past LA. We went to he's in Costa Mesa, and we went down the coast. Look at how overcast it is. It's great. I love it. I just love it. Down to San Diego too, so I stopped at places along the way because I hadn't been to any of them. And one of them was like a little bookstore. I think this one might have been in Oceanside. No, up north of Oceanside. Anyways, who cares? I don't know. All right, Beach Town Books. I don't even remember what city I'm in right now. San Clemente, maybe? I don't know.
It's story time.
I've heard this is a little expensive, but looks freaking cool from outside. So we'll see what's what. Really cool little bookstore. Buy 3 get 1 free, I think is what it was, but there was a lot of overpriced stuff, and their horror section was pretty limited. It was mostly King and Kuntz, you know, as always. The other ones that were there were new, and so they were full price books. I didn't really want to pay full price. Then there was a sci-fi section that had decent amount, but it was a lot of the typical stuff. Marion Zimmer Bradley, Andrea Norton, Ellen Dean Foster, you know, the typical stuff. Stuff that I look through, but I have a lot of it already, so I don't need to spend a lot of time going through it. I just kind of scan real quick. So I did grab a few things. I grabbed an original copy of The Keep, which I'm planning on reading soon. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm reading Stinger by McCammon right now as a buddy read on Discord. If you didn't know, there's a Discord you can be part of. I'll put the linky thingy down in the bottom, and you can join Discord. Buddy Read's going to go all the way through September, so if you want to read it with us, you're more than welcome to. I'm kind of purposely spacing it out and doing I think I'm doing 10 chapters a week just to kind of let it take its time all the way up through September, which is weird for me, but I'm gonna try it and see. So we're doing that, and I'm reading Stinger, but I want to read this one probably after, because Keep's been on my radar for a while. I found a hardcover a while ago, and then I also found this one. So, and it's, you know, it's already worn and ready to be read, so I'll probably use this one as my reader. Or if I have a copy floating around, which I might, of like a newer print, I might use that one. And then I will most likely pass one of those 2 along somewhere, because I don't need 2 copies of it, so I don't need a hardcover and a paper. As I said, I'm gonna go really fast through this, and I take 4 minutes on the first book. I am the king of YouTube. Okay, I also picked up this. I have no idea what it, nothing about it, but I thought it was super cool. Check out the freaking edges of that. That's got to be one of the most beautiful edged books I've ever seen. I love sprayed edges. I forget, color block is the technical term, I think. I don't know. But I call them sprayed edges. Someone said it at some point. I liked it. Stuck. It may be another term, but beautiful. Beautiful. It's a Warhammer horror novel. I'd never heard of it. Goodwill Hollow. Anna Stevens. Thought it was so pretty I couldn't pass it up. It was just so pretty I had to have it. Good golly, Miss Smoley. All right. Then I've been picking up a bunch of Jonathan Mayberry, and I found Dead Man's Song by Jonathan Mayberry. I found another one of these that will be later in the haul. And I bought a bunch of different ones on eBay that arrived recently, and I'm excited to read them. I didn't know about this one, and I don't know if it's tied to anything else, but I figured, hey, I'm going to grab it since I don't see it very often. Then I got Sicker B** Stards, and it's kind of a weird name, B** Stards. But I got this one because it looked like an extreme type horror. I didn't realize it was a sequel. I don't know if this is one that I really want to read or not. You can let me know if you've read it before. If I do, I obviously would want to get the first one before I read this one. So if it's just gross to be gross and just trying to be sick and twisted to shock value, then I don't care to read it. If there's no real point to it, then I don't want to read extreme just to read extreme. Okay, on the way, or when we got to, by the way, if it looks like I just crawled out from under a house, that's because I did. I just got home from work and I had to do a lot of crawling and attic stuff today, and I'm pretty wiped out. So, and I didn't, go put my makeup on and do my hair, shave a little first. Get what you get. Get what you get on the Viking channel. All right. I went to a place I've been wanting to go to for a long time. I got all the way to San Diego and I barely made it before they closed.
You know how to hold space. Should I try? No.
Dude's so fat he looks like a rabbit.
Look at, there's one right there. I shouldn't try and take a look? No.
You should. Probably not.
Look at
Not unless you want rabies.
I want rabies.
We are in Oceanside and look what we found. Cajun cheddar flaming hot Cheetos. What? And look at this one. Cup of noodle flavored hot and spicy Funyuns. What?
Yeah.
Never seen those before.
I don't think there's anything
Alright,
else.
going to another bookstore. Oceanside. Check it out. And I got to go to Verbatim Books. I've been wanting to go to Verbatim for a long time. I've seen this on like Matt Bookpild's channel. I've seen it on Bob, Heroin Bob's channel, Bob's Books. And I just have been wanting to go for a while. So I got a sticker. I got this cool little like placard thingy majigger. I might throw that in a little frame for fun and set it on my desk. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Just thought it was cool.
You should.
This was like a mission and that's a
Very
little bit.
bunch of bookmarks. I got a t-shirt. They had one size smaller than what I wear, so I have to lose a few more lbs before I can wear this, which, by the way, I'm doing right now. So you may see me start to thin out our hair because doing that carnivore diet. It's pretty cool, but I really want some carbs. Okay, so I got a couple books at Verbatim. I found another copy of Spinner by Pacercia. This is one that I want to read. It's been on my TBR for a while. It's really good shape. It's probably worth about $5 or $6. I got it for $5, a little more than I'm used to paying for stuff, like DAWs that I find in the wild. I do have a hardcover of this, and I may still have a DAW. I don't remember. I may have sold it. I can't remember, so if I already have mine, I'll resell that one. A copy of Old Doc Methuselah, $4 for that one. Not bad. That one's early dots, number 20. This one I hadn't seen before, so I thought it was really cool. It is number 200, the DAW Science Fiction Reader, and this one was $5. So more than I like. If I found these at a thrift store, I'm usually paying $2 to $3. So a couple bucks more than I normally would. So this one has Andrea Norton, Gordon Dixon, Tanith Lee, Ellen Burdakers, Lynn Carter, Marion Zimmer Bradley, and Brian Stableford. So several great authors in there. So that's one. I may read that. I don't know. We'll see. It's not on my prioritized TBR at the moment, though. I did find this one also, and I only picked it up because I thought it was really cool looking. And I was like, man, I've never seen that before. Look at the edges. It's gorgeous. Beautiful blue teal. Teal blue. Blue teal? Teal blue. Coral. It's coral. Coastal coral. Blue edges. And that was $6. And so I looked this one up, and it's about a $150 book. I was very surprised. And on eBay, the ones that are in mint condition are like $175, closer to $200, and that sucker is cherry. So that's $150 to $200 book. So that made my trip worth it. Okay, I grabbed this one. I have this one already. I have this one already. I have this one already, but I have a different cover. So this is Spinrad's Solarians. This is one that I also want to read. Another one that's been on my TBR forever. So I will keep one of the two that I have. I just grabbed this one because I really like this cover, and it was probably the cheapest thing in the store. It was $2. I was really surprised. Sea Change by Brian Assman. And this one is $7, but it was signed. So I figured, hey, might be kind of worth it. It looks kind of independent published is what I call them. Mutated Media. Little known published. I don't know what else to call them. And there was not a lot in the horror section for me to grab. It was mostly King and other stuff that was like overpriced. So I also grabbed this one, Ian Connor, and I have no idea how to say that. Even though I am Norwegian from descent, I don't know how to speak Scandinavian Norwegian. So let's try. Skadurgemuk. No. Skadurgemut. Skadurgemut. I have no idea. Skadurgemut. 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 I have no idea. Okay, Ghost Witch is what it says, by Ian Connor. And it has Ian Connor's business card in here from Black Raptor Books. So someone local or something like that. Great business card. Look at this. That sucker's cherry. Banging. All right. And signed by Ian Connor. So I grabbed that one. I was like, I got to come away with something. And I went to the horror section first. So that was what I grabbed first. Then I found this one. I thought This is just a really cool cover. I've come across this one other time, and I can't remember if I have it or I just saw it on somewhere. And it's The Many Worlds of Science Fiction, edited by Ben Bova. Hardcover. This was $8. It's about what it's worth online. And it has Ben Bova, Gene Wolfe, Burt Filler, Andrea Norton, Gordon Dixon, Keith Laumer, Anne McCaffrey, Robert Silverberg, and Harlan Ellison. The cool thing was they had 2 of these. One of them looked almost exactly the same and was $20. This one, right next to it, $8. So I grabbed the $8 one. Probably because this one has someone's name in the front, and it has a couple lines on the content, so I don't care. That was verbatim. I was so happy to go. I was so excited. It was so fun. I'd like to go again. I didn't get to go to any other stores there. I really wish I could have, but we made it down there late. We stopped at way too many places on the way, and there was just insane traffic. Legitimately sat for like 2 hours just on the coastal highway, just barely moving along. So it was terrible. I'm gonna do these. These came in the mail today. This was all one bundle that I found on eBay. So they all came in one bundle, and I got it really for 2 of the books, but there's some other cool ones in here. I think it was about $20 if I remember right. So there was Robotech Battle Hymn. I don't really care about this other than I have a couple of them, so I figured it could go with the other ones. This one I thought was pretty cool looking. I thought it had a great cover. Mark McGarry, Sundogs, and I'm not familiar with this author at all, but that cover is fantastic. And it's in really good shape. It's pretty clean. So it says man had come to conquer Morgan's world, but who would be the victor? So about as basic a premise as you could possibly imagine. This one, probably nothing to me. Will McCarthy flies from the Amber. It's a rock paperback. I have 850 million rock paperbacks. Dean McLaughlin, The Man Who Wanted Stars. Cool little cover. And I don't really know Dean McLaughlin either. He was Earth's last hero, and he fought a lonely, bitter battle to give the universe back to man. That's what it says on there. That's what we're going with. All right, The Many Worlds of Barry Malzberg. This is one that I wanted to grab with this bundle, and it made it worth it because the real one that I want is coming up. With this one, I was like, okay, that makes it worth it to have that one plus the one I picked up. So 11 complete works, including his famous novelette Final War, and a preface by Roger Elwood. And this is in pretty darn good shape too. So it's nice and clean. So that was good. I'm pretty sure I have this one already. Donald Moffat, Second Genesis. And it's okay. It's got some nice thumbed corners here. It's an old library book, and so it's worn a bit. Mankind was searching for its roots, but at the end of the line there were only new beginnings. So kind of cool looking. John D. McDonald, Ballroom of the Skies. And I just keep leaning on this and bonking this and making it even worse, huh? I do. I'm terrible. All right. I'm probably the worst of the worst when it comes to filming. All right. Ballroom of the Skies, John D. McDonald. And have you ever stopped to wonder why the world is eternally war-torn? Why men of goodwill seeking only peace are driven relentlessly to further disaster? In Ballroom of the Skies, John D. McDonald takes us on a deep, deep dive into the question that is unanswerable by most men. It's a very intricate and convincing future story. A society where India rules the globe. All right. I've never seen this one before. I have lots of this author's short story collections, but I've never seen this one. So I was like, I gotta have this because there's a couple people I want to collect everything they have. If you don't know, obviously Stephen King's one of them. up at the tippy top up there. Thomas Dish is another one that I want to collect everything that he has, as well as Richard Matheson. So I had not seen this one, The Shores of Space by Richard Matheson. I thought this was super cool looking, and it says 13 different stories of eerie happenings in a horrifying world. I probably have all these stories in other short story collections, but hey. So Being, Pattern for Survival, and then Steel, which is the movie Real Steel is based off of. The Test, Clothes Make the Man, I've read. Blood Sun, Trespass, When Day is Done, The Curious Child, The Funeral, The Last Day, Little Girl Lost, and The Doll That Has Everything. So I'm pretty excited to get to this one. I've read 2 or 3 Matheson short story collections so far, and I have several more that I want to go through. So I'm excited because I'd like to have read everything that he's written at some point, but that's going to take some time. Also in the mail, I was recommended this one by one of my friends on the Discord channel. We were talking about different books, and this one came up, and so I was like, okay, I'm grabbing that one. And I don't remember why we got on the subject, but something about action-y fun. Oh, maybe it was the Deadpool video that I was doing, where talking about all the books that I like that are similar to Deadpool. So maybe it was something to do with that. But this one is Run by Douglas Winter, and it's supposed to be super fun. There was a movie called Run, I thought, not too long, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if this is made into a movie at some point, but look at that psychedelic cover. That one I'm excited to get to at some point. And then I've been watching my tracking on this one, and it came from the UK, and it had no updated tracking number, and it said estimated that it was coming in a month. And I've heard nothing since, and I was hoping that I didn't just get ripped off and taken for my $60 whole dollars. So I'm so excited for this one. I cannot wait to read it. Yeah, Slimer by Harry Adam Knight. This one sounds so good. I cannot wait to read this. I've heard nothing but great things about it. And it takes place on a deserted oil rig. Okay, I mean, come on, middle of the ocean, isolation. I love isolation themed stuff. Middle of the Antarctic, The Thing, deep space, Event Horizon, under the water movies like The Abyss, or what's his name's not The Troop, The Deep. Isolation type stuff I really enjoy. I'm super excited for this. I cannot wait. It was a screaming deal. It was like $30 plus the shipping from UK, which was like $30. But this book is normally like $120. So I was like, so what if I'm paying $30 shipping? It's half off. I'm buying it. So, and I've had it pinned on my like my saved searches on eBay. I have like 800 saved searches on eBay, so constantly all day I'm getting notifications that books are being added. This one has been on there for a long time, watching for books that are going to be cheaper that I can pick up. So it was the right time. I jumped on it, snagged it before anybody else did. I was super stoked for that one. All right. I also went to a book off in Costa Mesa. I picked up a kind of cool, I don't know why, but it was only $2, a cool copy of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This has been on my list of shame for eons, and I finally read this one. We were driving down to Costa Mesa, and I decided to do this one as my audiobook, and so I went through the original Frankenstein, and it was actually really good. At first I was like, I'm not sure about this book. So, but I did like it. But it was very, the word that came to mind when I talked about it with my wife after it was over, I was like, it was very flowery. And she's like, that sounds very like romancy and girly. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. Flowery, like fragrant and floral, and I don't know, the wording was very poetic and flowery. I can't think of a better word. It was flowery, okay? Anyways, I'll figure it out by the time that review rolls around. if I ever do review video again. I may at some point. Then I picked up Doomed by Chuck Palahniuk, and this one was $2, and I'd never seen that cover before. It does have some reflection, which you can kind of tell, but not really. I thought it was a cool cover. It was $2. It's like, why not? I've read 2 Palahniuk books so far. One was excellent, and the other was okay for me. So I'm kind of sort of hit and miss with Palahniuk for me. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Chuck, good old Chuck, Chucky, Big C. I grabbed a copy of Wendy's Button Box, and I've read this one before. I just never see it, so I figured somebody might want this. It was $1, and I think you can pick them up online for not too much, but I know the hardcovers are not that cheap, and they're not that easy to find. So, I mean, other than brand new at Barnes & Noble and stuff. I was very surprised about this one. I did not expect to find it in the dollar section of Book Off, and that is Voracious by Wrath James White. I always do that right. Wrath James White. Didn't expect to find that one. Extreme horror from Senor White. El White. El Blanco. Senor Blanco. So, anyways, pick that up. I grabbed a copy of The Meg by Steve Alton. I have this one, I believe, in an old paperback. I'm not 100% because I know there's like Meg, Deep Rising, Meg, Tides, Meg, The Revenge, Meg, Surfaces, Meg. There's like 80 of them, and so I don't know if I have the actual Meg, and this is the movie tie-in edition. So I just went ahead and grabbed it, and I looked it up, and it's like $15 on eBay. I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't realize that. Totally random pick on this one. It was $1, so I just grabbed it because it was sci-fi. And this one is Samuel Best, Mission 1. Never heard of it, know nothing about it. But it's sci-fi, so I went ahead and grabbed it. It says Titan, 6th moon of Saturn, a gleaming jewel of natural resources, ripe for harvesting by the first private space company to stake claim. Diamond Aerospace launches a ship with an experimental engine that will get a crew to Titan in 5 months. Their mission is to lay the groundwork for a permanent orbital research station, one that will be the future base of operations for activity on that distant moon. Shortly after launch, a devastating malfunction forces the crew to make a choice: continue to Titan or go back home. As the truth about their mission unravels, one thing is clear: someone on Earth knew about the system flaw and covered it up. Between the critical situation in space and the corporate politics of Earth, humanity's first voyage beyond Mars quickly turns into a relentless struggle for survival. Yet surviving the journey isn't the crew's only concern. Even if they make it to Titan, they will face another problem. Something is already there. That sounds pretty good. I might just read that one just cuz. That sounds pretty freaking cool. Grab this one because it's like a $15 book or so, I think is what I saw. And it was $1, so. Last Sext, Melissa Broder. Don't know anything about it. I just happened to scan it and I was like, oh, $15-$20 book for $1, sure. Okay, Lost Encounter also. Sorry, First Encounter. The sticker covered it. Ascents on Mars. No, Ascents on Wars. Man, I'm so dyslexic. It's not even funny. That W was upside down for me, and I read it as Mars instead of Wars. Okay, Ascension Wars, not Ascent on. Wow. Okay, look at that. It is Ascension Wars, not Ascent on Mars, Book 1. I am some kind of special. All right, Jasper T. Scott. Don't know about this one. I don't need to read the back. It sounds kind of cool, though. Same as the other one, like a cool little story. Gunslinger. $1. Worth it. I have this one also, but it was $1. Cabin at the End of the Woods. It's one I want to read, so I just went ahead and grabbed it. This was my first stop, was Book Off, so I wanted to walk out with something. War of the Worlds, the shooting script. I believe I had this one at one point, and it's the entire script with movie stills. Thought it was kind of cool. Figured I'd just pick it up. It was $1 also. I don't know anything about this one. It just looked pretty. It looked pretty. And Chris Cleave, and it was $1. And it's called, Little Bee. Don't know anything about it. I don't know why I grabbed it, really. I just did. So there's that. I picked this one up, and this was $2. And this one's like a, I don't know, $20, $30 book, I think. The Gate to Women's Country, a novel by Sherry S. Tepper. Sherry Tepper wrote Grass, which is one that I really want to read, and it's been on my list forever, and I have not got to it. The Hollows Insider, Kim Harrison, and this one was $2. This one's also $15, $20 book, so I grabbed it, if I remember correctly. I have so many of these type right here. I don't know what is this, Bane? Yeah, I have so many Bane books like this. They're David Drake's and John Ringo's and Fred Saberhagen's, and they all have this cool, bright, cartoony looking cover. And so I just went ahead and grabbed this one. It was $2. Maybe I'll do a whatnot at some point that has a lot of this stuff on it. I know I have a few friends out there that like that stuff, so I may just I don't know, share them with some friends. Jack London, The Tales of the North. This is a big hardcover of several different stories, and I wanted to read some more classics. I just read Old Yeller also again. I read it when I was probably a teenager, early teens, and I loved it, and I just wanted to read a few classics because I've been dying to for a while. And Frankenstein kind of kicked it off. Then Old Yeller. I have Where the Red Fern Grows that I want to read. I read it when I was younger also, and I loved it. It's books that were influential to me. The K, I think, is one that I want to read that I read when I was younger. Of Mice and Men. I don't know if I ever read that one when I was younger, or if I'm just remembering the movie. But I do want to read it again. So there's several ones like that. I did read a lot when I was younger. Those ones that were made into like Disney movies, like Rudyard Kipling stuff, Jungle Book, Swiss Family Robinson, things like that. And so I kind of want to reread all those again. So I have been grabbing any kind of collections that have old, like Call of the Wild and things like that I've read when I was younger, but I want to reread. So I read a ton of that kind of stuff, as well as a ton of Hardy Boys, like a lot. I know there's like 840 Hardy Boys out there, but I probably read like a good 500 of those. No, there's not that many, but there's a lot, and I read a lot. And what else? The Chronicles of Narnia I want to reread. So I read that when I was a kid and haven't read it since. And so there's quite a bit that I've been kind of wanting to go back nostalgia for nostalgia reasons and reread. And so that's why I've been grabbing things like that. So, all right. Also at that book off, I grabbed Necroscope, The Lost Years. I have all of Brian Lumley's Necroscope series except for, I think, 2. And those 2 are very expensive. But I kind of grab them whenever because I know there's probably a few people out there that want to complete the series or read the series at some point. I read the first Necroscope. I've heard the second one's better. And so I'm a little tempted to read it, but it was such a chore for me to get through the first one at first that I'm not sure if I want to jump right into it yet. I ended up watching like 5 or 6 YouTube videos kind of explaining Necroscope and what was going on in it, because it was so slow and confusing that I just would lose interest and I wouldn't like really care about what was going on, and I'd put the book down for like 2 weeks and not read any, and then I'd try to pick it up and read a chapter, and I'm like, what is going on? I don't remember. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this, but I need some background. So I went on YouTube and watched several videos explaining the whole premise of the book so that I could follow along with who was who and what was what. And so then it became more enjoyable, and then I finished it no problem after that. So I may do that with the second one. Maybe I'll just watch overview videos getting ready for it and then read it, and then I'll probably be a little more into it. Christopher Raleigh, The Black Ship. This is the same guy who wrote The Bang, and this is part of a series. I have this one, but my copy's super beat up, and this copy is super clean, so I just went ahead and, well, my copy's not really beat up. It's crinkled and got, bent corners and stuff. But anyways, I wanted to trade it out for the one I have. Dead Poet Society. I like my movie tie-ins, and so this one I don't remember having in my movie tie-in list, and I love anything Robin Williams has ever been in, pretty much, and I just felt like I wanted to read that one too. So, and here's Where the Red Fern Grows. Got that for $1. Excited to read that one again. This super influential to me when I was younger. I used to hunt a lot when I was younger, and we'd go out with our dogs, and I'd take the dogs with me, and I'd be in charge of keeping the dog safe and keeping the dog on the leash. One time, my dad loved to tell this story when I was younger. He let me take one of the bloodhounds, and we're walking on this trail, and he's like, whatever you do, do not let go of that leash. You hold on to that dog and keep him from taking off on you. I was like, all right, I got this. And I was like 9 years old or whatever, 8 or 9. I got it, Dad. Don't worry, I won't let go. And the dog catches a scent, and he just boom, and he just takes off, boom. And I'm holding on, and I'm behind, flopping in the breeze on the trail, and I'm just hanging on. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go. And my dad's like, let go, let go. And eventually it ripped it out of my hands and took off. So anyways, I got dragged quite a ways by a bloodhound one time. So when I was little. And then we found the dog sitting under the truck when we got back. He just wanted to go home, I guess. So found Alan Dean Foster's movie tie-in of Star Wars The Force Awakens, and I'm pretty sure I didn't have this one, so I figured I'd grab this one. I do really enjoy Alan Dean Foster, and that was my trip to Book Off in Costa Mesa. One more, and then I'll do the rest on another video. I went to a Goodwill, and there was only one book that I found there, and it was the only thing worth picking up. And so I went ahead and grabbed it. It's The Ruins in hardcover by Scott Smith, which I read last year and I really enjoyed. It was one of my favorite reads from last year. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it made the top 10. I can't remember my top 10 right now. But I really, really enjoyed The Ruins. I kind of almost want to read it again. Maybe I'll watch the movie just to get the feel for it, and then I'll read it again at a later date. But it was so I don't know, it was cozy horror for me. It was so cozy because I felt so warm and comfortable when I read it. Just kidding. The heck is cozy horror anyway? It's an oxymoron. It's like saying eggless omelet. Is it because you're comfortable while you're reading horror? Do you have a blankie and a hot chocolate? But the book doesn't. You're reading a horror book. You might be cozy while reading, but is there cozy horror? Is there comfortable, warm, cozy horror? It's just not too scary, and it's not too dangerous, and it doesn't hurt my feelings very much. So it's nice and cozy. This was cozy to me because I felt good while reading it. I felt cozy while reading it. I enjoyed it. So how about that? Is that cozy? Is that cozy horror? Does that count? I don't know. End of video. Catch you guys on the next one.